poll people, most are in favor of using this technology to treat a genetic disease. So like sickle cell disease or Huntington's disease, especially for diseases where there's no other treatment or cure. And also diseases that are extremely debilitating, so diseases that lower your life expectancy to 4, 5, 6 years. So people are in favor of using this for that. Where you get into ethical questions are when you start talking about should we edit germ cells, and those are embryos, eggs, or sperm. And so when you start modifying the DNA in those cells, those changes will be passed down through future generations. And so once you start talking about that, people are less on board. What a lot of people maybe aren't aware is that you have something called pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. And so what that means is if you are a parent and you have a genetic disease, and for most diseases there's like a 50% chance of passing that on to your child, what you can do is you can fertilize multiple embryos and then screen them to see which ones do or don't have the genetic disease, and then implant that in vitro fertilize for the ones that don't have the genetic disease. So when doing that, you don't have to alter the genome of the embryo. So that's one option without actually having to go in and edit germ cells. The terms people use are kind of treatment versus enhancement. And so most people are on board with using this to treat genetic diseases, but we also know enough about the human body to maybe make our muscles stronger or change the color of our eyes. Maybe in the future we'll know enough about the body to increase intelligence or things like that. Right now, we don't know enough about the human body or genes to begin to modify that. Also, traits like intelligence aren't just one gene. It's a combination of many, many genes. But what people don't want is using this to enhance humans. And I think people are thinking about ways to regulate this, but at least for me, I think the biggest ethical concern is accessibility. So this technology isn't going to be cheap, and you don't want only the wealthy people to be able to treat diseases, and certainly you don't want only the wealthy people to start enhancing themselves. And it's going to take a very progressive, thinking ahead healthcare system to make this technology accessible to people, those that need it, to treat genetic diseases. So health insurance companies, politicians, scientists, society are having these conversations right now. And so hopefully they'll be fruitful and productive. So we'll see.